today to share a few tips that I am learning very, very quickly at my house recently. You can tell by the title of today's video that we're gonna be discussing preteen parenting strategies. And while we are not quite in the preteen stage, I feel like we are getting close based on what behaviors my kiddo is showing. If you guys don't know, I have two kids. One of them is my 9-year-old daughter. Her name is Delilah, and most of the time she is super, super rad, but we do have to lay down some consequences and some positive consequences as well sometimes. And then my second kiddo is 18 months. His name is Harrison and he is a little boy. But today we are going to be focusing on my 9-year-old and the parenting strategies that we use with her. I am not an expert, and I just want to also say that I am not perfect in using these things. I lose my cool a lot because we're getting a lot of sass and back talk. I also wanted to let you guys know that these parenting strategies, while they work for my kid sometimes, I mean, kids are always changing, so you kind of always got to like change up your stuff. They might not work for every kid. So remember that you're gonna tailor your discipline strategies to your kid. So keep that in mind. So the first parenting strategy that we really like to use with Delilah is a timer. She responds really well to a timer in most situations, and I'm just gonna give you a couple of examples where we might use a timer with her. Before bedtime, she gets to have some iPad time if she completes reading. So she gets 1 minute on her iPad for every minute that she reads. So before she even gets the iPad, she has to do the reading. So I keep track of the time that she reads on the stopwatch on my phone. So this is the stopwatch that I use, and I just keep track of this. I just let it run for as long as she's reading. When she gets her iPad, I actually put the number of minutes from the stopwatch onto the, let's see, the timer, and the timer looks like this, and it looks the same on the iPad, just like a bigger version. So I will put the amount of minutes actually on there for her, and then she is responsible for keeping track of that. And then she is done when the timer goes off. So it is a clear boundary. It tells her exactly when her time is up. It decreases the amount of arguments that we have. Another time where we might use a timer is if she is on a timeout or needs space in her room. For our timeouts, we do 1 minute for every year that you are in age. So right now she usually goes for 9 minutes. She sometimes will get an extra minute of timeout if she is disrespectful in her language, if she throws things, if she slams doors, that kind of thing. But I keep track of that on my timer so that there is no like discrepancy, and she knows when she hears the timer, then she's done with timeout. So there's not really a lot of, am I done yet? Can I come out yet? That kind of thing. A timer works really, really well as a parenting strategy for us going into a preteen. Another parenting strategy, and this is a positive one, is a reward system. Whatever reward system you want to use in your house is up to you. It really varies from kid to kid what they like. My kid likes to go out and have quality time. She likes to go out and do activities, so she gets to earn activities. So we were having an issue with sneaking, and instead of having negative consequences for that, I kind of spun it around and we did some positive consequences. So if she had so many days of not sneaking toys in her backpack to school, then she would be able to earn like a time out. Like she would be able to choose where she went with either me or Brian. And that really motivated her to have positive behavior. And once they have had positive behavior for so many days in a row, it really becomes a habit, I think, at least for my kid. So using the positive consequence to kind of motivate that behavior really, really works for Delilah, because she likes the positive consequences and she likes to please people, even if she does have some of that preteen sass going on. So the third strategy that we like to use is to remind her that we have rules and expectations in our house. So we have our rules and expectations posted around the house. Reminding her of those rules and expectations often, or pointing to the rule or expectation, is something that keeps her, you know, in a routine, and it doesn't leave a lot of room for argument. So for example, one of our rules and expectations is that everybody uses kind language in our house. And so if she's not using kind language, all I need to do is point to the rule and she sees that, and then a lot of times that is enough to change the behavior. The second thing that we often have been having a conflict with is not being physical with our body. She's in a very physical stage. Also, my toddler is in a very physical stage, and Delilah does not realize how much bigger she is than him, and sometimes gets physical with him and hurts him. So we often talk about, you know, the rule of not being physical and not using our bodies and using our words. So having rules posted and having them around around the house as a friendly reminder, and phrasing those rules in positive language instead of don't do this, don't do that. Make sure that you're phrasing your rules in positive language so that your kids feel motivated to follow those rules. Have your kiddos help you create some of those rules so they really feel invested. It's similar to things that I do in my classroom, honestly. Like I bring some of my teacher stuff home and it really works one-on-one with my kiddos too. The next parenting strategy that I want to talk about is do not get into a power struggle with your preteen. And what I mean by this is if there needs to be a negative consequence, you need to follow that through. I would not leave a lot of room or space for the child to argue. It is what it is. You need to remind the child of what their behavior was that caused that consequence. You need to remind them what the consequence is, and then you need to talk to them about ways that they can avoid having the consequence in the future. So those are 3 things that keep me out of a power struggle or out of an argument situation. And again, I am not perfect. Like I have had some blowout arguments with my 9-year-old who is very sassy, and these things do really help when I am calm enough to implement them and when we are in like a perfect scenario. They really help with behavior. But if you find yourself in a power struggle and you realize it kind of midway through, shut it down. The conversation needs to be over. Maybe give the child some space, so put them in, send them to their room, send them to like a quiet space, say, I need a break right now, you need to walk away, that kind of thing. But shut down the power struggle right then. And then the last tip that I have for parenting a preteen is to stay calm, or to give yourself some time to calm down before you implement a negative or a positive consequence with your child. There have been plenty of times where I have not given myself time to calm down and I have been really frustrated, really angry even, and I've probably presented that in a way that was not very positive and that may have even hurt Delilah's feelings. When those things happen, we definitely talk about it afterwards. I apologize. I show her that I am an imperfect person, and I show her that it is okay sometimes to have angry feelings and sad feelings and that kind of thing, as long as you make it right with the person. But if you can give yourself time to calm down, whether it's tagging in your parenting partner or again, using a timeout strategy, using a walk away strategy, that kind of thing, until you are ready to implement your consequences in a more positive way, that is the best case scenario. If you are acting rash and, you know, if you are doing things out of emotions, whether they're negative or positive, you can sometimes make judgments that you may not have made otherwise. These are the strategies that work for us in our house. Again, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. We don't use these strategies perfectly every single time, but we really do try to keep them in our parenting toolbox, and we do try to use them as often as possible. So please don't feel like this is any kind of like judgment. These are things that work for us. I don't want you to feel like you're an imperfect parent, because honestly, we are all imperfect parents and none of us are doing a stellar job. We are all just doing the best job that we can with the tools that we are given. I am simply just trying to give you a few more tools to add to your toolkit. So if you like this video about parenting tips and that kind of thing, feel free to give this video a big thumbs up. That would help me out so much. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button below. That again helps me so much. We get to build an amazing community here when we have subscribers and that kind of thing. If you are one of my loyal subscribers that have been around for a while, I would like to take this moment to thank you so much for being here. I've seen so many new subscribers joining our community lately, and I am just blown away and humbled that you all want to be here and hear what I have to say. So thank you again so much for being here. It really means the world to me, and I absolutely adore every single one of you. And with that, by the way, you guys, have fun today.